Today's question is from Ricky in Washington. He said, David, just gone through my second beater car. Tired of being on a first-name basis with the AAA tow truck driver. I'm out of debt. I have my emergency fund saved, and I have the money to get a little nicer car. Having a hard time parting with it because I worked so hard to save it. Can you talk a bit about the struggle people have with spending money, even when they have it to spend? Yeah, it's so hard to finally get some in savings. It's hard to release it, especially if you're wired as a saver. Now, I'm wired as a spender. My wife is wired as a saver. Usually we fall in one of two categories. I think you're wired as a saver. She gets great comfort from having that pile of money, more than she would get great comfort from having a reliable car. Me, I'd rather have a reliable car. Past the emergency fund. You're at the, this is an emotional thing at this point. It's not a financial thing. I have the money, but I have trouble releasing it. And so what that says is you're just getting some, it's a normal thing, and it's not a bad thing, but it just says I get security from that extra money beyond my emergency fund. And I'll tell you this, I think it's something we all have to work at one of our money skills. There's really three basic money skills that you have. Spending properly, reasonably. Learning to enjoy money falls under spending. Learning to enjoy life with your money, which is kind of what your question's about. The second one's saving. You got to learn to save money for emergencies, for college, for retirement, to change your family tree, to build wealth. You got to learn to invest. You got to learn to ride the investment waves like we've had in the stock market in the last couple of weeks. Right? And giving. The power of generosity to completely change you when you learn to give as the natural rhythm of your life. It changes everything. So, giving, saving, and spending. Everyone has at least one of those that they struggle with. Mine is saving. I'm a spender. It's no trouble for me to enjoy money. It's also no trouble for me to give money. A lot of spenders, it's easy for them to be generous. Because the release of money doesn't bother us as much as it does a saver. But I'm weak at saving. And that's why God makes me teach this every day. I'm no longer weak at saving, but it wasn't my natural default. I had to intellectually decide to have an act of my will to save and invest. And really what drove me to do that as a spender-giver is that I would have more to spend and give if I built more wealth. I can spend more and give more. And that's my only reason for saving. It's not because I just love saving money. I still don't to this day. It's not. So you're on the other side of this, Ricky, is what we're saying. You don't enjoy spending. We don't know about giving. You didn't address that in your thing. Sometimes I can get spenders or savers like this to turn loose of their money first by increasing their giving. And then that kind of gives them permission to also enjoy the money themselves. But it would be a shame to save and work and not enjoy some of your money. And one of the things you should enjoy is a reliable vehicle. And you don't have a reliable vehicle. You've been doing beaters. And so, you need to go buy the car. You already knew that. You weren't asking about that, but you already knew that. But maybe also take a little bit of that money and give it. Find some place to be generous at your church, or find a couple that's struggling, or a single mom that didn't pay her light bill for a year, or whatever. But find something to do, because there's something about giving that kind of then gives you permission down inside your spirit to also enjoy money. Because money's fun if you got some. You ought to enjoy it. You ought to enjoy some nice things. Now, if that's all you do and you don't save and you don't give, then you're just a shallow twerp, right? But, to assume that just because someone has the ability to enjoy money means that they're greedy or shallow, that's just bogus. And the way you can tell is what percentage of their financial situation is going towards stuff for them. And if all the money you make is going to buy you crap, then you're out of balance, you know. But if you're giving a percentage of your income, and you're investing a good percentage of your income, and you're enjoying some of your income on lifestyle purchases, travel, cars, clothes, whatever it is, then that's in balance once you're at baby step 3 and beyond. And that's where Ricky is. But it's a really good question, Ricky. It's a good question for me to stop and just kind of rant on or vent on for a second here, teach on for a second, because sometimes people think, well, no one should ever have a car like that. What would anyone need a house like that for? Now, I've got a friend that's worth about $3 billion. Now, a billion is 1,000 million. He has 3,000 million. He has 3,000 million. He spent $6 million on his house. And people sent him hate mail. No one should ever have a house like that. His house, as a percentage of his net worth and his income, is like you going through the drive-thru at Chick-fil-A and buying a biscuit. It didn't affect his life one iota to spend $6 million on a house. As a matter of fact, that's a very conservative house for someone who has $3 billion.